All right, here's the next bike I'm going to do some videos on. This one is a 96 BMW R1100Rt. And I actually sold an R1100R that I had. And when I wound up delivering the bike to the gentleman, he said, "Hey, would I like another project bike?" Had this bike, great low price. He said it's running and driving. I haven't heard it run or drive yet because the battery is dead. But he assured me it was running and driving. The bike has had a hard fall. You can see on this side, it has a different colored mirror that he did put on, but he said he was riding this after the accident. He didn't drop it, but someone dropped the bike and he wound up buying it from a friend for $500. So he asked me if I'd like it for $500, and I said, sure, why not? Can always use another project. He did purchase this side bag because he said the other one was destroyed. So he said he paid $200 for this side bag. It doesn't match. I'm gonna have to paint it. And it broke off a tab on the front part of the frame up here that's gonna have to be TIG welded on. But he included another frame, and he says he has the title for that frame because the VIN number is on that right next to that tab, but he couldn't find the title this morning. But I have the title for the bike. I paid $500 for it. He said he would just eat the money that he lost on the saddlebag and the other part of the frame. So I thought, why not do another video series on the R1100RT and go through the maintenance on it, and see what you can get for $500, and then see how much it costs at the end. I don't know a whole lot about this particular model. I mean, it's pretty much the same as my R1100R, just with some fancier flarings. It's got the automatic windscreen switch to raise and lower the windscreen. This one is an ABS model, and it has heated grips. Someone has done some handlebar risers to kind of move the handlebars back a little bit, which is fine with me. I like sitting a little further back on the bike anyhow. So I'm gonna just do a little walk around this bike. Unfortunately, on this side of the garage, I don't have much room, but this saddlebag is in great shape. I do have the little covers that go in here. He had just taken them off, and he had removed a few of the screws. So already getting us started. But everything on the bike looks great. It's got nice chrome wheels, and the chrome down here near the foot pegs. I'm not real crazy about that. I might paint that. I don't really like that chrome look there. But and the chrome rear wheel. Everything else looks in pretty good shape with this bike, except for this mirror on the side is broken. It has been replaced, so I have to see why it's all taped up here and see what's going on there. It's got some skid marks on this side where it did fall over. It doesn't look to be cracked, just looks like cracks in the paint. So it might be able to sand this thing down and either repaint it back to the same color it was, or maybe a different color. Personally, I'm not real crazy about this color. It looks nice, but I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. So we'll see if it grows on me, but kind of decide what to do. But and you know, here's a little rundown. The adjustable suspension. So yeah, and we'll do some maintenance videos on it and go over everything. And we'll see how it goes. This first thing I'm going to do is what I like to do when I buy a bike like this is first make sure it runs. So I'm going to start taking the panels off of it. It seems like every time I go to grab my camera to do a video, the battery is dead. So I'm charging that battery. Doing this on my phone, but I'll try to see if the battery will charge up enough and maybe just start shooting some videos of tearing this thing down. So got another project here, cheap project. Tires look pretty good. Those look a little square, but maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it. But I'll check the date codes on those and then check them for dry rot. It does have a inspection sticker that just died, so he had told me that he had it inspected. Even the way the frame had that little break in it, he inspected it and was driving it a little bit. But yeah, wound up buying my bike, and I got a bike from him. So we'll see how everything looks once we tear into this thing. See if I can figure out how to get these side panels off. So all right, I got the side panels off, and I went ahead and hooked an old half-dead battery that I have up to the bike. So let's see if we have power and what happens, if we have any sparks, anything nasty going on. Got lights on the dash. I think I heard the fuel pump just kick on. That's what it sounded like. Yeah, just heard the fuel pump. So we got lights on the dash. Got a headlight. We have tail light. Let's see if we have brake lights. See if I can reach all the way over there. Push the brake pedal. But we have brake light. Turn signals. Turn signals blinking there. Turn signal here. So far, so good. Try the other turn signal. We have turn signal. Turn signal indicator on the dash. Of course, the ABS lights are blinking. And turn signal here. Let's see if we have horn. Cut those turn signals off. Oh, man, we have horn. We have hornage. All right, so that works. Let's see what happens if we crank it. I think my battery is probably doesn't have enough power to turn it over, but we'll see. Yeah. All right, it'll turn over, but my battery is like really weak. Oh yes, the windshield, the windscreen works as well. Nice. I don't know what I'm gonna do with a bike this fancy. So that's awesome, that works. So far it looks like everything works on this bike that I see. I'm gonna charge this battery up some and see if we can get it to start. I mean, the fork seals look a little, they don't look too bad. I thought they looked a little seepage at first, but not really. So yeah, in looking at this, I haven't found anything else that's really broken. I think the mirror, why he had this right mirror taped on, is just that he crushed down the clip on it to get the mirror on. So we might be able to pull that out, see if we can fix that and get this mirror to snap on without having to duct tape it on. And little broken parts in there, but we'll see what we can figure out on this and see if we can get this mirror back on without having to duct tape it. And I'll paint that mirror, get it to match the rest of the bike, and go from there. But let's first things first, let's see if we can get this thing running. Okay, I thought I'd show you real quick what part is broken here, if I can get my camera to get in there. If you look right here at the top of the frame, there's a little tab that should be there that holds this on. This whole front piece should sit up there like that. Not way, whoops, the mirror just fell off. Not way down here like this. Sorry if I got it there. But yes, this piece needs to be welded on back up there. So that's the part that's broken off right now. It's all being held up really by the wiring here on the front. So I've got to, I guess I'm gonna have to remove this whole handlebar assembly here and see if I can get it far enough back to get the TIG welder in there to weld that piece on, see if I can get it cleaned up enough I've TIG welded very little, but I do have a TIG welder, so we'll have to see if we can get all this stuff pulled back out of the way. I was going to remove the tank anyhow, just to be safe, probably, just so I don't really want to be welding right there that close with the tank, but we'll see. I see this little edge of the tank looks like it's pushed back a little bit from, must have been the fall, but we'll see if we can just remove this whole top clip here. If we can get all that out of the way, we might be able to get in and TIG weld that pretty easy. And I have the piece that did break off, so might be an easier fix than I thought it was going to be. So we'll see. We'll work to that. But first, I want to get this, see if it'll start. So before tearing all this stuff apart. So I'm gonna let this battery charge a little bit and see if it'll get enough juice in it to turn this thing over and see if it'll start. All right, well, she's running. I'm gonna let it run for a second here. See how it sounds. Sounds pretty good though. Now I know she runs. Hey. All right, so I took the top, I don't know if you call this a triple clamp, but it's not really a triple clamp on this bike, but I took it off so you could see down where the piece is broken off. And this piece sits right in here like that. So that's what's gonna have to be TIG welded back on. I think I have room now to get in here with the TIG welder. I'm gonna have to clean this all up and do it on a day when I have some time to really take my time on it. Okay, I tried to weld the frame and didn't have any luck, so I think I'm gonna switch out and put the other frame piece on that I have. So what I did was I just removed the shock, and now I'm getting ready to move these two upper parts of the frame here, and let's see if we can get this frame piece out of here. It doesn't look that difficult. We got a bolt up here, comes out, and a bolt down there, and then these two front brackets need to come off, but I'm gonna probably have to get some help holding this front end on because I don't want to take everything off and disconnect all the cables. So I'm just gonna get my wife to come out, try to hold this for me so I can switch this frame out real quick and go from there, and hopefully the former owner can find the title. If not, we're gonna have to figure something else out. All right, so I got the frame switched out. I did have to jack up the bottom of the bike a little bit, so jack up the front to get the shock and everything out. So I got the new frame piece in, so now I just had to tighten up the bolts down here at the bottom, the bolts here for the support for the front end, put the shock back in. I do have a shock from a GS 1150, and I'm thinking about trying it on this bike. I've heard the suspension is not that great on this bike, so I've got a whole stock GS 1150 suspension, and I'm wondering if it'll fit. So I think I might try the shock and see what we figure out, because that way I'd at least have an adjustable front end. I could loosen it or tighten it up a little bit. The shocks look like they're the same size. Let me get them out here, I'll show you. All right, the shocks look like they're the same length, but like I was saying, on the GS model, you can adjust the tension on it to adjust your front end. So I think I'm going to give it a shot, see what we can get here. I'm going to actually see if I can lower it down a notch, because it's set up as high as it'll go. So I might knock it down 2 notches just to so it's not too stiff on the front end, but we can always adjust it later on if I can get in there and turn it while it's on the bike. So we'll see what we can do here. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so got the GS shock on here, so we'll see how it rides. Might be a little while before I have this bike on the road, especially with this title issue on the frame, but we'll see if we can get it figured out. Got the shock on, got all the bolts tight there on the subframe piece. I know it's kind of hard to see with these handlebars in the way. Got the ABS lines, the brake lines back on. And so now I'm going to try to see if I can get this front end back where it belongs. Have this bike coming together. I did not do any video or anything on how to take the gas tank off. Maybe I'll do that when I put it back on. Very easy to put back on, just have to take the fuel lines off. But I'm also going to do a charcoal canister delete on this bike. The charcoal canister was still on, and I know a lot of people say to take those off because it just clogs up your fuel filter and causes fuel related issues. So I'm going to delete that while the tank's off and get this all put back together here.